The Sims 4 Adventure Awaits official live stream has just happen, and we have learned so much information from this. We've had teaser trailers and stuff as you've seen before, but this time they've done a live stream which is obviously scripted and set up for your entertainment, but it's showing real in-game footage that's not been edited or anything. It's real people playing the game. The live stream as well has been done with cross-pack play in mind, so there is a lot that we need to go over with this live stream, and usually they're a lot more disorganized than the trailers, so we'll be kind of flip-flopping between everything that they went over and reacting to it all. So first random thing that they went over is diving. You can see that there's obviously a tall diving board and a short one and a slide. Diving is actually going to be a new skill. They didn't say, but I'm assuming it only goes up to level 5. Why would it go any higher? So you can do different kind of fancy dives depending on what your level is. They also showed off a new prison for your butterflies. So these butterflies that you're catching, you can imprison them in this, and you can put multiple ones, so it's like the butterfly version of an aquarium in the game. But also something that they have done which genuinely surprised me, you can see on the floor there's a square. Now I'm sure the builders may know what these squares are. It's basically a spawner, so when you go into live mode you won't see the square, you'll basically see the butterfly spawn, and you can apparently catch them from these spawners. And you can see from the build menu here there are actually 14 different butterflies that you can place down / moths, so you can actually place them on any lot and catch them anywhere, which is quite cool. They also spent some time, this bit is actually the bit that I was actually quite excited to see, and I'll be honest, I am actually quite impressed by it. So they were talking about the playgrounds. Obviously there's a new playground lot type, and I just want to say EA have actually clarified. Do you remember when I had a bitch and complain about the latest Sims 4 update, the brand new base game, in quotations, base game playground lot type, which requires you to have 6 pieces of equipment even though there are only 3 pieces of equipment in the game? Well, EA are now dropping in the next update the requirement from 6 to 3 pieces of playground equipment, so it makes a little bit more sense now. This is why I complain. It's for your guys. It's for you guys, okay? This is why I do it. We won the battle, okay? They've dropped the requirement from 6 to 3. Anyway, as you can see on the screen, making modular playground equipment actually looks really easy, even if you're not a builder, and dare I say, it actually looks quite fun. It looks like there's a lot of different cool options that you can do, and I was genuinely suppressed. Suppressed? What am I talking about? I'm not in the closet anymore. Impressed, I mean. I was genuinely impressed by how this looked. I think it's probably the #1 thing that I'm excited for with the pack, because in The Sims, 1, 2, and 3, we had like not tree houses, like playground, what they call jungle gyms. We've had jungle gyms and stuff, but this is the first time where you can actually build and customize your own, and you can see they put a lot of effort into it. So I'm genuinely happy. I'm wondering how glitchy it's going to be in live mode. I'm really hoping it works. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, I just want to say this is actually one thing that is exciting me about this pack. Now, as they've been building like a kids summer camp, they introduced the household that they're playing with, which is a household of kids. And they actually mentioned the brand new trait competitive, which you see in the bottom right. And this is apparently an interesting trait because you can either be competitive in a good way or in a bad way. So this particular sim has a bad competitive spirit, which means that she will rage after she loses or over celebrate if she wins. And it also gives you tips you can see here to improve her competitive spirit to make her more sportsmanlike, or you can make it even worse to an abysmal level, which I think is interesting. I wasn't expecting it, although it does say the bottom reward trait, so I don't know if this is actually a trait that you pick in CAS or not. I'm not too sure. They've also introduced one of the new imaginary friend dolls. This is our first look at this particular design, because we've seen the unicorn and we've seen like the red one before. This is a really creepy looking one. This is probably my least favorite one. It looks very like Silent Hill, if you know what I mean. Why have they done them all so creepy? I think it's kind of funny though. And I do like that we got 4 swatches, because in The Sims 3, the imaginary friend just kind of looked like an astronaut, but this time we've got 4 different ones, which I do like. Anyway, as I said, the live stream is a bit choppy, so they immediately just kind of stopped talking about the imaginary friend, and they're now talking about how you do a getaway, which I suppose is like a holiday vacation or travel, and you can actually do it from the calendar itself. You can see at the bottom it just says add a getaway, and then that's where you choose a lot. And I believe you can just choose like any custom venue or any residential. I think any lot, honestly, in the game you can just choose. And then you can see it says how many nights. It also says if you want it to recur weekly on a specific day that it starts from. You can choose a time when it starts and also an end time for the getaway. And then you have roles. So this one has got a camper, camp counselor, and a camp director. You can see that they've got different custom ones that you can do as well. A senior living community sounds like an interesting one. I wonder if you can actually have them like live there forever. Do you know what I mean? Because technically these like Sims would need to have their own house. That's why I just find it interesting. We're going to have to wait and see in actual gameplay how that one will work. And then they show off the different kind of schedules that you can do. So this is for the outdoor kids camping. You can see there's a very strict time schedule. I don't know if it's going to work in real life gameplay. I'll be on this, but we'll see. Interestingly though, when you select a role, so they're selecting the camper role, and you can see role criteria. So you can make them a child, you could probably make them have certain traits, whatever. Then you can make them have certain activities, and you can even assign them a certain outfit, which is really interesting. I'm thinking of so many ideas already. I don't know how well it's going to work realistically, but it just sounds quite fun. And then they've shown off the rules. I don't know if I care so much about the rules. I feel like maybe they should have included more because there's not enough, and there's not like a variety enough, but it's still a cool concept. Hopefully we'll get more added in with mods. So I will admit it does look cool when they all start and they're all in like their uniform. I just feel like maybe there's going to be a lot of different gameplay variety things here. And there's a pop-up you can see at the top right that says it's time for hide and seek. Nancy will be the seeker. So the kids actually like hide away, which is interesting. I don't know if you saw it there, but look, this kid at the back with the long black hair actually teleports into the bush. So they're actually hiding into the bush. Looks like something that can actually work well in the game. Dare I say a feature that works? Is this really The Sims 4 right now? And you can see the little girl is looking around. So obviously as a player, you don't really you're not actually going to be looking for them. It's more so just something that you watch unfold. At least it's a new activity for kids for once. They're also showing off the archery. You can see here that the kids are doing as well, which is interesting. And that camp counselor seems to actually be instructing the situation, which again, I'm surprised this is honestly working, to be honest with you. There are so many members of this household. This is almost an 8-member household, and things are actually working quite well. There's technically even more than 8 Sims on the lot because of the camp counselors too. I don't know, I'm just impressed really. They're currently in the time thing. You can see it says build physical skills, which is why they're playing on the monkey bars, doing the archery, doing hide and seek. And they're showing that you can actually just change the schedule on the fly to make it whatever you want to. And then as time went on, it changed to do water activities. So you can see the camp director is in there and he's swimming in the pool. And then gradually all of the kids, you can see that they just kind of navigate towards the pool as well, and they all do swimming together. So it's just, to be fair, I actually think this is a really cool idea, and you can kind of see that the Sims do what you tell them to do. Just makes me be suspicious really. This is The Sims 4. This game is supposed to be broken to shit. Why are they doing what they're told? I mean, there's one person who's still swinging in the background. We'll pretend they don't exist, but other than that, everyone else seems to be doing their job properly. And at this point, they're also showing off formative moments, which is kind of like a mini aspiration for kids. And it says suggested challenges, and it says be comfortable in water. I'm going to learn how to be the best diver ever. I'm going to do everything a Sim can do in the water, everything. And it just comes with some set objectives that you can do in order to do that. I'm not sure how much of an impact though these mini aspirations will have on gameplay. I mean, look at this one, be away from home, independence challenge, getting out, getting to do things on her own for once. Nancy doesn't mind that at all. In fact, she wants to do it more. Reward, when Nancy grows up, she will remain confident longer when she becomes confident. What kind of reward is that? Because Sims 4 mootlets are such an obsolete feature. Are the rewards actually going to feel meaningful or not? That's what I want to know. And I wonder if there's going to be any cross-pack ones too. And if you're wondering, by the way, how you actually do these, you actually have to click on certain objects objects. So you can see if you click on the archery thing, it says start master archery challenge. So this is basically how you get the different kind of like mini aspiration goals, the formative moment goals. So they're things that are quite literally something that's in the moment. So I can see why they called it formative moments. And then the next part of the in-game day was arts and music. In the Sims 4 build mode, they've actually shown off a new object, which is like the activity table, but it's not an activity table. You can see that they've placed down this like, I don't know, like crafting kits or whatever, and you can actually use these. So when she clicks on it, you can see craft origami, craft paper mache. There's also the start the Be Crafty challenge, which again is going to be another formative moment kind of thing. And this one does scale with the skill as well. Funnily enough, during the live stream at this point, there was actually a glitch too. You'll see in a minute. Look, there's a sim swimming under the planks. This is why I love these live streams. It's for the last couple of packs, they haven't actually done these live streams because shit like this happens and it's embarrassing for them. But this time, you know, they braved, they did it, and the glitches occurred. But it's funny because they just reset object debug on him and just pretend it like it didn't happen. I mean, if it was me, I would have made a joke about it. Anyway, at the next point, they actually decided to show off the imaginary friends. And you see when you click on the doll, it says at first you can just turn it into an imaginary friend. In The Sims 3, you had to actually like play with it first. So it's not like it's a bit easier. Obviously, The Sims 4 is so easy and safe. With this game, it just happens automatically. But you can also see there's choose personality. They do all have a default one, but you can change the personality. Obviously, you can play with it and tell it a secret too. So this is our first time seeing this imaginary friend, which is the fourth one, which I don't understand what kind of creature it is. Almost looks kind of devilish because it looks like a bit like a goat, doesn't it? But obviously, because it's an imaginary friend, only your sim can actually see it. But you can see the imaginary friends are like a proper sim. So it's got like, it's like a proper thing in the Simology panel and stuff. They've then shown off a brand new aspiration, which is all about butterflies, Critter Hunter, it's called, excluding the critters from the Sims 4 Outdoor Retreat, of course, because they're a different flavor of critter. I mean, you're not really critter hunting, you're just butterfly hunting and crafting paper butterflies. It's a Sims 4 aspiration. Of course, it's gonna be us. They also showed off the imaginary friend becoming real. They basically make this child sim into a teen so they could show off the new adult critter hunter aspiration. You can see when you turn an imaginary friend real, she'll spawn as a child, but then when they do the interaction, she will actually become the same age as him, and she turns into a normal sim. Honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed because I kind of wanted her to retain a little bit of that weirdness in terms of her physical appearance. Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously she's still wearing the weird outfit, but you can see she's actually also added to the household. So that's how you can get a new sim in your household too. And then at the next point in the live stream, they actually changed to a new save file where they're going over cross-pack features, but they're also playing with these teen sims and they're doing like an elimination style getaway, okay, which I think is really interesting. And the elimination is the rules. So you can see there's child skills elimination, cooking skills, creative skills. They've got popularity elimination, romantic, survival of the fittest, but they've also got player choice, which means you can choose who gets eliminated at the end of each day, which I think is good because that way you can make your own custom thing. Like you can do like a murder thing or something. Like, is it just me who came up with the murder idea? Is anyone else sick enough? Like, did any of you guys think of like doing like a Saw kind of thing? Well, that's what I was thinking anyway. So they're doing the player choice one in the live stream, but they're also adding something called activity shuffle, where the main activity of the slot will occasionally get shuffled to a different one in order to keep each day feeling spontaneous, which I actually think is a good idea that they've added in. And then for this one, they've actually created a custom preset in terms of like the roles. So we've got the host, and they're assigning a sim to the role of host. And then the role criteria is like who the sim specifically is and activities that they have to do, which is kind of giving the Sims for Businesses Without Hobbies pack, we'll be honest. And then they've added an occults role, which is really interesting. And they've basically just added like different kind of occult activities to it. I will be honest, the whole scheduling thing looks a bit confusing because you actually schedule different activities for each role to do at different times. I definitely think it's going to be a little bit confusing and not intuitive. What I would have liked, which they definitely, I just know they haven't included, I feel like they should have done the ability to download presets off the gallery. I just feel like that would have been a good idea to be able to import other people's, because it's really confusing. As you can see, all the different activities at the different times, the main activity activities, there's like sub-role activities. Like, it's too much. I definitely think they should have given you the option to import some that other people have made, being realistic. But they were basically just trying to show off that there are a load of cross-pack ones, and it's basically all the same stuff as the business and hobbies pack with the activities. They're basically the same old activities. Although something that is interesting that they actually showed off here is that when you do, like, for example, an elimination, you can actually select who is being eliminated. So you can select only the occults being eliminated and not the host. So it just shows you all the different kind of customization you can do. Even though it is confusing, I do think the customization will be a good thing in the end. So at this point, they also showed off canoeing, which is not really any different from riding a boat in The Sims 4 Island Living, because The Sims 4 is in an open world. They've got nowhere to go really. So they just wander around for a bit and come out of it with a plus whatever moodlet. They also showed off the gazer, whatever it's called. I would call it a prolapsed anus based on how that looks. Anyway, something kind of interesting that actually happened at this point in the live stream. One of the Sims got eliminated, and it was Bella Goth, as you can see, but she doesn't actually leave the lot. She stays on the lots. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know, like, if they get eliminated, are they supposed to leave the lot? Are they supposed to stay? Or was it just a glitch in the game? I'm not too sure. Other than that, though, they didn't really show off much gameplay for adult Sims or teen and up. They showed off the new exercise bike here, and they showed off some other things, but really it's just a lot of the activities for the older Sims. That isn't really much. Like, this is definitely a kids focused pack. Pretty much all of the new features are designed for kids in mind, which I genuinely think is a good thing, because there is not enough gameplay for kids in this game, and this pack has definitely added a lot. We've got the minor things like the exercise bike or the juicer that they added with the pack for older Sims. And obviously older Sims can do things like diving and archery, but really this one is for the kids. I think it's going to be better for adults if you have multiple other packs installed, so you can make your own different kind of custom venue lot types using that. They did show us a lot more off of the world as well. It actually looks quite small, which I genuinely think is a good thing. They need to be making Sims 4 world smaller, because they're just way too big and full of, you know, wasted space. I mean, all of it's wasted space, isn't it? Your Sims can't go anywhere, and if they can, they can't do anything. It's Sims 4 world, so it's going to be a pile of wank. But I'm glad that it seems to be a little bit smaller this time anyway, although we'll have to wait and see when the full reviews are out. Unlike previous live streams, they didn't actually go over like build mode or custom mode. This was just like a very generic overview that they did. I think based on how it looks so far, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the whole, like, what's a custom lot? They didn't even actually show off what a custom lot was. They showed off what a getaway was, but we don't actually know at this stage what a custom lot is. And how is a custom lot different to a getaway? Like, it's too much at this stage, and I don't feel like they showed off the right things in this live stream, being brutally honest, because a lot of it was just them showing off basically getaways. This was essentially just, yeah, a live stream all about getaways and how they work, rather than anything else that's coming in the pack, because everything else was just a little bit brushed over. But you know what, from what we've seen, I would say the getaways actually don't look that bad, and I've already got some ideas in mind, not just making like a saw trap situation, but I'm also thinking of some other things too. I would like to do Love Island, but I feel like a lot of other people are going to be doing Love Island, so I'm thinking of something else. Maybe we could do, what was that American documentary that's been on Netflix recently? Is it like America's Biggest Loser, like Fat Camp? I'm thinking we do Fat Camp for some fatty Sims, and I'm allowed to say that because I used to be obese, so I'm allowed to make fat jokes. Anyway, I just feel like there's so many ideas. You guys let me know if you have any and you want me to test them, by the way, for my brutally honest review of this pack. And I was actually reading the comments too, and genuinely the comments, they're not even loading. The comments are actually pretty good. Most people are not being mean about it at all. Some people are saying don't buy packs for broken game, which 100% I agree with. But in general though, I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful about the pack. Definitely as a content creator, there are so many video ideas that I've already thought about that I really want to do with this pack. So as I said, if you guys want me to test anything out, let me know in the comments, because I'm already preparing for my review of the pack and all the different things that I want to try in it. It was like there when business and hobbies came out, you guys gave me all of your ideas of different kind of businesses to create. So I really want to do that again. So please let me know, and let me know what you thought of the live stream. I thought it was a little bit basic and underwhelming, but at least they clarified some things about the Getaway, I suppose. We'll have to wait until the content creators who get early access post their vids. Then we'll see a little bit more information, although that will not be cross-pack play, and they are sponsored videos, so they will be biased in terms of opinion. I just can't wait till it actually comes out and I can play with it and do all sorts of things for my review. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a future video. I will see you in the next one.